Mr. Williams, thanks to your skill, you've given me and my men a new lease on life. From now on, you can count on our loyalty. There's no need for that. As long as you stay out of my way, we'll be fine. Before we go, I have some advice for you. You have an unusual skill that's highly valued by some very rich and powerful individuals. The ability to make these herbal supplements could draw attention from the wrong people. Mr. Williams, please think about it carefully. I'm a lightweight compared to these. Thank you for your advice. I'm glad you're going to listen to me. Now I'll take my men to get more of the black fruit for you. Kevin returned to the dining room and saw that Lily, Rachel, and Phoebe were still tied up. Before Kevin had a chance to untie the three women, they all heard the sound of the front door opening. It was Truman Anderson, Phoebe's father. He stood in the doorway with a shocked expression on his face. Kevin, what are you doing here? Then he immediately went over to the three women and undid the belts that were still tied around their wrists and ankles. Kevin felt that it was hopeless to try to explain, so he just took Lily and Rachel and left the house. Truman was still trying to catch his breath. He turned to his daughter and asked her, Phoebe, tell me honestly, did Kevin do this? Dad, what are you talking about? You've really misunderstood what happened. A bunch of hoodlums broke through the front door while we were making lunch. They tied us up and tried to beat up Kevin. He was about to explain the rest to us when you came in. But believe me, it wasn't Kevin's fault. While this was going on, Kevin was driving Lily and Rachel back into the city. When Lily was there, Rachel always felt a little more at ease, but when she was alone with Kevin, she immediately clammed up, unsure how to act. Don't be too nervous. I'm not that scary. I'm not nervous. I know you're good for Lily, so I want to give you some great news. I'm getting ready to open the biggest hotel in Chicago, and I've decided to ask you to be the vice president. Really? There's only one condition. I want you to help me keep an eye on Lily. If any man tries to get close to her, you must let me know immediately. I won't let you down, Rachel replied excitedly. At that very moment, at the Jones mansion, Grandma Jones was sitting with the top members of the family. She looked despondent. I called everyone here today to discuss something that's very important for our future. Lily now has a controlling share in our company. Does anyone have an idea what we can do about this? Grandma Jones had been miserable ever since Tyler gave Lily 60% of the company's shares. Lily had instantly replaced her as the most important member of the family. But what could Grandma do about it? Grandma, you can talk to Lily nicely and ask her to give you some of her shares. Even if she gave me 10%, she would still have half the shares. Grandma Jones perked up when he said this. If she could get back the company shares, she could start another company and finally put the Jones family back on top. 5 days later, in the CEO's office of Williams Media, Kevin looked intently at the documents on his desk. Mr. Williams, as soon as the market opens this morning, our company's shares are expected to drop by 20%. After she left, Kevin slapped his desk and took out his phone to make a call. Hello, Kevin, what's the matter? Uncle Thomas, you know very well what's the matter. There's no point in hiding it. That's right, Kevin. The Williams family did this. How can you even say that? Aren't you afraid that I'll take back the $3 billion that I lent the family? Kevin, if you want your money back, I can transfer it to you right now. I advise you to come back and apologize to your family. We can still work this out. Kevin didn't answer him. He just hung up the phone. After thinking for a while, Kevin decided to call Mitchell Cook, Adriana Wright, Gilbert Rhodes, and the others to come to an emergency meeting at his office. As the most prominent business leaders in Chicago, they naturally found who was behind this madness, but they didn't understand the reason behind it. Kevin thought for a moment and said, although the situation looks critical, it doesn't mean that the Williams family will definitely succeed. The first step we need to take is to stabilize the stock market. Let's use our money to push back at them. Kevin is right. We definitely can't avoid it. They're playing rough, so we will too. Even if it kills us, we'll make sure they don't get out of this unhurt. Within an hour of the meeting, everyone in the stock exchange was shocked. As everyone watched, the Williams Group stepped up and invested $3 billion. The enormous transfers of funds attracted everyone's attention. That night, the Jones family held a meeting in their mansion. "Grandma, I have a suggestion, but I don't know if everyone will agree." "Oh, what do you suggest?" "Didn't Williams Media lead the way today? Why don't we take half of our shares and buy into their company?" Jason explained carefully. "That way, however this turns out, we'll at least be able to maintain half of our wealth." "Lily, what do you think about Jason's proposal?" "It's up to you to decide, Grandma," Lily said with a sullen look on her face. "All right, since you said that the decision is up to Grandma, then you'll have to contribute 50% of the company's shares. Jason, you have no shame." "All right, Kevin," Lily said as she suddenly stood up and took him by the hand. She turned to Grandma Jones and said, "Grandma, it's getting late. Let's talk about this again tomorrow." When Kevin got to the office the next day, Miss Wilson had already been waiting for him for half an hour. "Sir, many of our senior executives want to have a meeting with you." "Okay, have them wait for me in the meeting room in half an hour." Next, Kevin checked the company's stock situation on his computer. As the markets opened, their share prices fell by 10%. By now, they had already lost hundreds of millions. Kevin slowly put the bracelet on the table. After thinking for a moment, he decided to call Officer Emmett to ask her opinion. "Hello, Kevin? What do you want?" "I was wondering what you might know about green tourmaline. Come to the downtown Luxbank's office in an hour. Don't forget to bring the bracelet. I'll explain everything to you then. See you later." Miss Wilson came into Kevin's office as soon as he put his phone in his pocket. "Mr. Williams, all the senior executives are waiting for you in the conference room." As soon as he walked into the conference room, one of the vice presidents stood up and said, "Mr. Williams, we can't fight this anymore. Even if we win, we'll suffer heavy losses." Kevin was meeting with the senior executives at Williams Media. They were panicking because of all the pressure the Williams family was putting on them. But Kevin was confident that they could get through this. When Kevin told them that anyone who wasn't up for the fight could leave, they were impressed by his attitude. "All right. Since no one has any objections, let's get to work." After he said this, Kevin got up and left. He went straight down to the parking garage and got in his Pagani Roadster to drive to the downtown branch of Luxbank. Kevin went straight to the VIP area because he figured Officer Emmett would be waiting for him there. But before he got to the teller's window, he was stopped by a staff member. "Sorry, sir, these windows are reserved for VIPs. No one else is allowed in here. If you're looking for someone, you can wait over there by the door." "I'd like to make a withdrawal." "You can make a withdrawal from the ATM by the entrance." Kevin frowned. He thought that he was pretty handsome. How come he kept getting this kind of reaction from people? Their conversation was starting to attract attention. The VIP customers were annoyed by his intrusion. "Miss Gray, I'd like to withdraw $2 million in cash immediately." Just as she was about to throw the card out, the bank manager happened to walk by. When he saw the black card, he was so unnerved that his legs got weak.
Miss Gray, what's going on here?"
"Mr. Johnson, this man has been causing trouble."
"Nonsense, Miss Gray. Sir, my name is Evan Johnson."
"I don't need any help, thank you. I'm just making a withdrawal. Am I qualified to stand here now?" "Sir, I'm so sorry." As he stepped into the lobby, Officer Emmett walked over to him and asked, "Kevin, what are you doing here? Didn't you want me to meet you here? I figured as long as I'm at the bank, I might as well make a withdrawal." "Kevin, please don't misunderstand Blair's actions. He didn't do any of that on purpose." Before she could finish, Kevin interrupted her. "I'm not here to talk about him. Let's find a place to sit down so you can explain to me what's going on with that bracelet." Suddenly, there was a scream from the lobby. "We're being robbed!" The bank's front door was kicked open by 5 men in black. One of them fired his gun at the ceiling and shouted,
"Everyone, on the floor!"
"Put all your valuables on the floor in front of you and don't look up.
If you value your lives, you'll do as we say."
Just then, the leader of the gang pointed a gun at the bank employees and snarled,
"Go to the vault and bring back $8 million in unmarked bills.
And don't try anything you'll regret. The bank manager, Mr. Johnson, pleaded with them.
Well, we don't have that much money right now.
The robber responded by shooting Johnson in the thigh. One more word and you're a dead man. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, Officer Emmett stood up holding her badge in her hand. Chicago PD, you're all under arrest. Put down your weapons and place your hands on your heads. Just then, the brawny robber motioned to his accomplices. You two go and tie her up and throw her into the car. He started walking towards Officer Emmett while he said this. As the two men moved in to tie her up, Officer Emmett spun around and made a savage sidekick to the first one's gut. Then she spun in the other direction and threw a high snap kick to the other man's head. A gunshot rang out and dust floated from the ceiling. Kevin realized that she'd stood up and drawn their attention to keep Johnson from getting shot in the head. But now the robber was threatening everyone in the room. Go and check his injuries. Leave these guys to me. By the time Officer Emmett realized what was going on, Kevin had already leapt in front of the man and kicked the gun out of his hand. Then he threw a lightning-fast punch to the man's head. He dropped like a sack of cement. Stay back, the man shouted as he saw that Kevin was getting close enough to reach him. In fear for his life, he started to aim towards the hostages. Kevin saw that the gun was pointed at a little girl who was lying on the floor next to her mother. He knew this wasn't good and sprang between the man and the little girl just as he pulled the trigger. By now, the rest of the men were getting up off the floor. The one nearest to Kevin immediately hit him on the head with the butt of his gun. That's what you get for interfering. Blood immediately started flowing down from Kevin's head. Fortunately, he was in pretty good condition, so the blow didn't knock him out. The gang's leader turned to his men and ordered them. You guys go and put all the money in your backpacks. A minute later, the 5 of them ran out of the front door with 5 bags of money and their young hostage. About 10 minutes later, the men thought they might be getting away with their robbery. As they raced up Fullerton, one of them said excitedly, Man, we hit the jackpot this time. Suddenly, the driver looked in the rearview mirror and started to panic. Hey man, we got a tail. I think it's the guy from the bank. While they were discussing their options, Kevin and Officer Emmett were coming up with a plan of their own. Kevin, hurry up and drive faster. Let's not lose them. Don't worry. We're almost at the lake. They'll have to stop soon. Officer Emmett noticed the bright red stain on Kevin's shirt. She asked him earnestly, How are you holding up? That looks pretty bad. It's nothing serious. I can hold on for a while longer. When they got near the marina, the men grabbed their hostage and ran from the car. Kevin put the bracelet inside his jacket. Maybe it could at least deflect a bullet. Officer Emmett and Kevin jumped out of the car. Just as they were about to catch up with them, the group of men suddenly stopped. Stay back or the hostage is dead. The man pointed his gun right at the kid's back while he used him as a shield. The little boy was seriously frightened and he couldn't stop crying. I'll tell you what, if you want a hostage so bad, take me. As soon as the man finished speaking, Kevin started to sneer. He slowly raised his hands and walked toward him. Kevin! When Kevin was less than 6 feet away, the man let go of the little boy. The kid immediately ran towards Officer Emmett, still crying uncontrollably. Then Kevin made his move. He punched the man in the center of his chest and sent him flying backward. His men were shocked and they definitely didn't want to face Kevin again. They just snatched their leader and ran away as quickly as they could. After they were gone, Kevin grabbed his side and complained. Damn, this hurts. Kevin, lie down and breathe calmly. Help is on the way. The bank robbers got away in their speedboat, but Kevin and Officer Emmett managed to save their young hostage. Unfortunately, while fighting with the leader of the gang, Kevin reopened the wounds on his head and his side. Just then, the squad cars pulled up and a few officers walked over toward them cautiously with their weapons drawn.
Chicago PD, please identify yourselves.
You missed the bad guys by like 10 minutes. Where the heck were you?
Oh, Lieutenant Emmett.
Geez, you guys are slow. Where's that damned ambulance? Officer Emmett asked one of the officers. As soon as she asked, she saw the EMTs running toward her and Kevin. I really don't need all of this fuss. I have a lot of work to do. Your health comes first. Officer Emmett snapped at him. If you don't treat this wound now, you'll probably get an infection. That'll cost you even more time and money. Now let them check you out. I can stitch you up and give you some IV antibiotics, but I really recommend that you get it checked out to make sure it didn't hit any internal organs. It doesn't look like it did, but you never know. I promise I'll go if it gets worse, but I just don't have the time to deal with a hospital right now. And I can't go home like this either. Lily would freak out. You're such a Okay, you can crash out in my living room, but just for one night. Someone has to keep an eye on you. I guess it'll be me. Kevin got off the stretcher and thanked the paramedics as he stepped out of the ambulance. They got to Officer Emmett's house in about a half an hour. Once Kevin was settled into the comfortable recliner, Officer Emmett sat down on the sofa. Kevin's phone vibrated, but he ignored it. Officer Emmett turned around abruptly and headed to her bedroom. It turned out to be Phoebe Anderson sending him text messages. It looked like she'd sent him dozens of texts. He decided to call Phoebe to ask her what was going on. Kevin, you finally saw my messages. It's been a busy day. Is there anything wrong? Do you need my help? Oh, I didn't know that you cared. Don't worry. It's nothing I can't handle. Then Kevin suddenly thought of something. Phoebe, since your family's got a lot of resources, have you seen any books about the healing powers of various gems? Why are you asking? I haven't seen any, but my father has an amazing library. I'll go take a look and get back to you. When Officer Emmett woke up the next morning, Kevin had already left. Instead of heading home, Kevin went to his office at Williams Media. He sat at his desk looking at the information Miss Wilson had sent him with a gloomy expression on his face. In just one day, Williams Media had already lost over $3 billion. When the markets opened in the morning, the stocks dropped so fast that they temporarily halted trading. Sir, if this continues, I'm afraid the company won't be able to hold on. The Williams family was just too powerful, and Williams Media couldn't stand up to them without some outside help. In just a short time, not only Williams Media, but also the Whistler Hotel and the West Chicago International Group had suffered enormous losses. All over Chicago, countless small companies were facing bankruptcy. Kevin called Mitchell Cook and the others to come back to his office. They dropped everything and rushed there in less than an hour. Mr. Williams, why don't we just give up now and cut our losses? Gilbert Rhodes said worriedly. What's wrong? Are you afraid? I'm just worried that when the dust settles, you'll end up losing Williams Media. I appreciate your concern, but let's not worry about that right now. I don't want to lose Williams Media either, but I can handle it if that happens. What we need to do now is to stabilize the stock market as much as possible. Don't let it crash before 3 this afternoon. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the major news agencies shared the breaking news. The CEO of KWTD Corporation, Tyler Dawn, had given his full support to Williams Media. An unimaginable amount of money poured into the markets, and by the closing bell, their losses had been completely reversed. Williams Media stock had nearly doubled. I must be dreaming, Gilbert Rhodes said excitedly. That's thanks to the KWTD Corporation and the Orion Group. He asked them to stay at Williams Media and keep an eye on things while he drove to Anderson Antiques to see Phoebe. When Kevin arrived at the store, 2 assistants met him at the door and escorted him to the 3rd floor. Kevin, you're finally here. Do you know how long I've been waiting for you? Is this what you were looking for? Phoebe asked. Yes, thanks. The next 5 days seemed to pass in the blink of an eye. It was obvious that, although the Williams family had gathered a lot of forces to help them, faced with the backing that Kevin had gotten from Tyler and the Orion Group, their attempt was doomed to fail.
I'm glad it's finally over.
That really wasn't easy. In the end, there weren't many casualties, but the total funds that the William family and Kevin's associate had poured into the fight exceeded $30 billion. Kevin, what plan do you and Mitch have in mind? Adriana asked with a puzzled look on her face.
We've been planning this for a while. We're going to open the largest hotel in Chicago and at the same time take over the city's catering industry.
3 days later, the whole city of Chicago was buzzing with the latest news. The Salix Leaf Hotel broke ground with much fanfare. Even though no one knew who the CEO of Salix Leaf Hotel was, Judging from the distinguished attendees, they knew that it was someone very powerful. The highest-ranking dignitaries and government officials were also there to congratulate them. The most excited attendee was the new vice president and general manager of the Salix Leaf Hotel, Rachel Butcher. Within a day, the Willow Leaf Corporation became a household name, and Rachel's net worth skyrocketed too. That night, after Lily called Kevin, she returned home with Rachel. "Oh, Rachel is here! Quick, sit down so we can talk. I really never expected you to be the vice president of the new hotel. If you make any connections, don't forget to include Lily." "Don't flatter me, Dorothy. I'm really just working for someone else." "How did you get to know someone so important?" "What important person?" "It's just that the CEO thinks highly of me. Without Kevin's permission, Rachel could never reveal his identity." "Oh, really? When will you introduce me to your boss?" Lily teased. No problem. I'll introduce you to him as soon as I have the time." Kevin slowly pushed the door open and entered the room. Rachel began to stand up when she saw him, but was stopped when he shot her a quick look that reminded her to not let on that he was her boss. "You're back already?" "Yes. When did Rachel get here?" "You guys keep chatting. I'm a little tired, so I think I'll go upstairs to rest." Meanwhile, Kevin was lying on the bed using his phone to surf for more information on healing stones that might increase the effectiveness of his herbal medicine. Suddenly, Lily opened the door and asked him expectantly, "Kevin, there's an event we've been invited to the day after tomorrow. Do you want to go?" "What event?" "The Jones family lost a lot during that whole mess caused by the Williams family. So the Blair family is getting together more than a dozen wealthy families to invest in a huge high-end real estate development. Are you sure you want me to go along? Now that I have 60% of the Jones Company shares, I'm going to represent the family. Since you're my husband, it's only right that you should be there too. Come on, we've never gone camping like this." "How could I say no? When do we head up there?" Kevin asked enthusiastically. "Tomorrow." The next morning, as the sun was starting to rise over Lake Michigan, the Blair family sent a car to pick up Lily and Kevin at Corwin Tower. After about 2 hours, the caravan of over a dozen limousines stopped at their destination up near Rockford. "So this is where you plan to build?" "Yes. Isn't it beautiful? It cost a little over $200 million for the land. Then each family is going to spend another $45 million for the construction costs." Kevin shook his head when he heard her say this. He didn't think that it was a good place for a luxury housing development. There was a river nearby which was picturesque, but he wondered if anyone had even looked into the chance of flooding. As Kevin was thinking about this, he heard a familiar, annoying voice. "Kevin, what are you doing here? Did Lily finally let you out of the house?" "Isn't that obvious? He must have tagged along with his wife to get free food and drinks." "Jason, what do you mean by that? We all came out here to have fun. If you pick another fight with Kevin, don't blame me for what happens to you." Jason just grumbled and walked away. By now, a lot of them had already started to set up their tents. They were the future of the various companies involved in the business venture, and what they were interested in most of all was networking. Right at that moment, Kevin heard a lot of commotion and turned around to see Officer Emmett and Phoebe Anderson walking out of a changing room. "Kevin, I didn't expect you to be here either. Why didn't you tell us? We could have ridden together." Lily wasn't sure what to think when she heard them talking like this. "Kelly, you might not know, but Lily is now at the helm of the Jones family business. Kevin only came on this camping trip because of her." "What are you talking about? Do you have to make things so awkward?" "Kelly, why are you still standing up for him? You're my fiancé," Blair said anxiously. "I'm just being honest. Also, if you keep acting like this, you may not call me that much longer." Okay. Kelly, whatever you say." They immediately broke up into cliques. Some picked up fishing rods to go fishing by the river. Others got ready to head into the woods to hunt for small game. Phoebe suddenly asked, "Kevin, are we hunting or fishing? The current's too fast down by the river. The fish would be swept away before they had any chance to bite. And it's illegal to fish with a net around here." So what you're saying is none of those guys will be able to catch a fish? I didn't say absolutely. Why don't we have a competition and see who catches the most fish or game?
So what's the reward?
Good idea. Each family will put $10 million in the pot. Winner takes all. Jason, will the Jones family participate? All right, we're in. Soon the teams were decided. They were Kevin and Lily from the Jones family, Phoebe and her brother Blake representing the Andersons, Sherwin Blair and Officer Emmett from the Blair family, and then there were 6 other families too. Seeing that everyone else had already started to move, Lily immediately pulled on Kevin's sleeve and urged him, "Let's head up that way, into the woods." Don't panic. When Kevin and the others finally started to head into the woods, they saw some members of the Steele family picking wild berries. After about an hour, Kevin and the others had only caught a single wild rabbit, which they put in Lily's hunting basket. Suddenly, they all heard a rustling sound coming from the nearby bushes. What's that sound? As soon as she finished speaking, a large, ferocious cougar jumped out of the bushes and growled at them. Kevin was the first to react. Run! When everyone turned around, Blair was already standing face to face with the cougar. He waved his knife from side to side and slashed at the animal. The cougar yelped before it turned around and ran off into the woods. Kevin knew something wasn't right. He clearly noticed that the cougar was running on its hind legs. I'm certain that was a man disguised as a cougar. By then, Blair had returned and was standing in front of Officer Emmett saying proudly, "Kelly, don't be afraid. As long as I'm here, nothing can hurt you, not even a cougar." Here comes another one. Everyone turned around and looked. They were almost scared to death. This cougar looked like it was almost twice the size of the first one, and it was less than 100 feet away from them. Run! What's going on? I only have one guy dressed up like a cougar, Blair thought to himself. Ouch! What happened? Get up! I think I sprained my ankle. Lily, run! Kevin shouted as he picked Phoebe up and put her on his back. Just then, Blair shouted again, "Come on, you filthy beast!" Suddenly, he heard a voice shouting in the distance, "Sherwin, it's a real cougar! Run!"
Hi, Kevin here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Insta Empire now with the link in the description.